For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, I move that the House suspend the rules and pass H.R. 5245 as amended.
And so there you have it. S.785 passing by voice vote. And you know, an interesting conversation. We have another bill. We're gonna get back in here in just a minute to listen to the floor live. But obviously, this has been the crux of 2 years of focus with regards to the mental health issue. And I think you have some key themes here, right? Which are, for one, probably the largest number of veteran lawmakers, which represent you know, the smallest proportion of Congress since World War II. So a large number of veterans now on the House Veterans Affairs Committee on both sides, really, coming to the floor. And I want to address one thing. There was a theme that kept getting brought up that I strongly disagree with, which is it's okay to not be okay. I disagree with that. It is not okay to be not okay unless you are trying to become better. You know, I mean, I think that's a critical gap there, you know, and we hear that theme, and I understand where folks are trying to go with it, but you need to add that last part, which is if you are not okay, you need to work towards becoming okay, becoming better. And if you're not finding the help you need at the Department of Veterans Affairs or with whatever you know, effort it is that you are trying to become better and it is not working for you, there are other programs available. And you know, come to us, come to the HEAL program at AMVETS. You know, we work with the Boulder Crest Foundation. You know, there are phenomenal programs out there that will help you become your best self. And if you feel like you're not there right now, then yes, reach out to a friend, reach out to somebody, look at Boulder Crest Foundation, call up AMVETS at the HEAL program. I think we all know there's a lot of work to go here. And that was one of the other themes that you saw was, I think with the veterans, I mean, Connor Lamb, Phil Rowe, you know, Chrissy Houlihan, they all highlighted that, you know, essentially what we continue to do is not moving the needle. We need to do something different. And I think they suggest that the bill, you know, they essentially, I think, are agreeing with what we said earlier, which is probably good start, not enough. What are some of your guys' key thoughts from the debate and discussion there?
So I agree with you, Justin. I thought the chairman and the ranking member did a great job of selecting members of their caucuses to represent this. It wasn't a debate; it was billed as a debate early in the floor speeches there. But it was great to see everybody coming together with with support for this after really 2 years of fighting. I thought Congressman Lamb made a great point when he said small increases in certain areas can make big improvements. It's something we definitely support. Congressman Bill Recka says now is not the time to protect the status quo. Something else, again, we say pretty much daily. And, Congressman Bergman, General Bergman, who has really led this starting 2 years ago, made the point that 60% of those veterans who are dying by suicide are not in the VA healthcare system. And we have to reach them, and hopefully there'll be some improvements made because of this bill today that will do that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, for me, it was really refreshing to hear Representative Lamb admit that despite all the spending, not even incremental gains, it's probably regressed in many ways because we have yet to learn how COVID has impacted the lives of veterans who are already in crisis. So we'll have to find that out down the line. But in your discussion about it's okay not to be okay quip, Justin, you raise a good point. There's a danger in sloganizing these things. When we hear 20 a day or 22 a day, we get so used to hearing it that we turn it into an abstraction, and it becomes easier to ignore it when you can relegate it to simply a number or a term. And what you're really talking about is noting the difference between post-traumatic stress disorder and post-traumatic growth, right? The trauma is there, but you're really looking for an opportunity to be better, not settle with the idea that you're broken. And I think you point that out in your comments. So And then lastly, having veterans there takes all these issues out of the abstract by being able to speak to real experience, as Representative Bergman did, by speaking to in human terms. And that's what we need to hear more of. And you can only get that when you have veterans that are in the room when we talk about these things.
Yeah, I think that's right. And obviously, possibly, and we're seeing him right now live, possibly, ranking member, former chairman of the House Veterans Affairs Committee, Phil Rowe's last stand, if you will, on the floor of the House of Representatives. And, I think it was really nice to see, especially the other veterans who have served with him on the House Veterans Affairs Committee. And it was a pretty big list. I mean it sincerely when I say I can't think of another time on the House floor where I've seen such an overwhelming majority of the members who came to speak on the bill being American military veterans. And of course, highlighting and thanking ranking member and former chairman Phil Rowe. And of course, I think a testament to, his time and service on this committee, doing what he perceives to be the right thing for veterans, really regardless of politics. He's never, struck me, and you guys can disagree with me. And I served with him as a Democratic staff director. He never struck me as someone particularly playing political games, and those are the right type of members to have on this committee. I mean, we've seen people try to politicize the committee, and it's horrible. It's horrible. And it's horrible to see veterans, and we've seen more and more of this, I think, over the last, 6-8 years, kind of this politicizing of veterans into one camp or the other. And, it's just really unfortunate because, in my belief, veterans have one of the few, experiences, backgrounds, and frankly, a sense of, self as a military veteran that raises above partisan politics. I mean, I know I always say I'm a Navy veteran before I'm a moderate Democrat, but and I think that's what we need. That's the type of leadership we need on Capitol Hill, and I think we had that in Phil Rowe. So hopefully, Bergman or Connor Lamb or some of these others are really going to move forward with that mantle.
Yeah, trauma respects no political boundaries, and it's not partisan. And when you have people go to combat, the enemy doesn't check your political affiliation. So it's the one thing that unifies us as Americans in terms of the obligation to ensure that through consensus and compromise and discussion, we do the work of living up to Lincoln's promise to care for those who bore the battle.